I believe this is the new skill that was shown in the Elden Ring DLC trailer. Dryleaf Arts, hand-to-hand weapon with Dryleaf Whirlwind Ash of War is very fun to play. I had quite some aha moments in my playthrough. It can kick Godric while he's in the sky. Dryleaf Whirlwind hits so fast that we can interrupt his I Command the Neo attack. The first time that I know more got explosion and pushed me almost outside of the arena. One Ash of War staggered fire giants in phase 2, and we still have enough time to cast another Ash of War before we get the critical hits. Dodge Renana's glint blades while casting the Ash of War. So handsome. Let's watch this again. And I can't really explain what that hit was to kill Mesmer. Overall, I would say this build is quite balanced and very fun to play. In terms of playstyle, hand-to-hand weapon is really good at close combat. We can either use light attacks, which has very fast moves. We can also use Dryleaf Whirlwind Ash of War, which has AoE effect. And the moves can even close the gap when we are a little bit far from our targets. The hits from the Ash of War is much heavier than the light attacks. We can basically kick everything with no mercy around us until they all die. The same playstyle applies to the boss fight as well. One thing you will notice is that the weapon attack rating will be very slow, no matter which infusion we choose. The reason might be the hand-to-hand weapon hits really fast, so the designer needs to balance between the power per hit and the number of hits per second. So I have decided to use blood infusion. The weapon AR will be lower than heavy infusion, however the blood loss is HP percentage based, so it can scale well even in the higher NG Plus games. Notice that I can't even apply Blood Flame Blade buff on the heavy infusion of this weapon. We have a plus 25 Dryleaf with blood infusion. It scales with both strength and dexterity at C and arcane at D, with a native 84 blood loss build up, which is very good. We use a Kin Sword with Sabuku on it to inflict self-bleed and get the buff before the fight. Any skill with or without leveling works for this build. We use Wet Mask to get 10% damage increase when bleed happens. We wear an armor piece as heavy as we can to provide us damage negation and enough poise. We use Rakshasa gloves to give us 2% damage increase. The last piece is the Divine Board Warrior Greaves, which boosts our kick damage by 5%. This combination gives us 73 poise, which is quite nice. As for talismans, we use Rotten Wind Sword Insignia to boost our consecutive hits damage. Jar of Alexander increases our damage by 15%. Shattered Stone Talisman to increase our damage by 10%. This is new in the DLC. Notice that this talisman boosts both the Ash of War damage and the weapon moveset damage. We use Lord of Blood's Exaltation to increase our damage by 20% when bleed happens. We can swap the last one with Millicent's Prosthesis to increase our dexterity and consecutive hits damage, depending on what type of damage the boss is doing. We can also swap it to defensive talisman, such as Dragon Crest Great Shield Talisman to increase physical damage negation, or Golden Braid to increase holy damage negation. We use Thorny Correct Tier for consecutive damage boost. The second tier can be Blood-Sucking Correct Tier for 20% damage increase, with the downside of 1% HP drain per second, or Opaline Heart Tier for damage negation. I use the Green Burst Crystal Tier to allow more stamina regen. A very quick scan through the gears looks like this. The recommended stats for a level 150 character are 60 Vigor, 14 Mind, 25 Endurance. The Ash of War costs 9 FP per cast, but we need quite some stamina to repeatedly cast it in the fight. 39 Strength and 39 Dexterity to boost our weapon damage. We don't need any point in Intelligence. 25 point in Faith to cast the Golden Wall and the Blessing's Boon. Lastly, 20 points in Arcane. We drink our Physic and cast the Blessing's Boon to give us HP regen. We cast the Golden Ball, drink Blood Boil Aromatic for offense, or Iron Jar for defense. Then Sabuku to inflict self-bleed and get buffs before the fight. Refill FP and HP, and then we're ready for the fight. We also have Manania's Greater Zone activated to get HP back when we attack after getting any damage. This build is capable of defeating the final boss, and I will show it in another video coming soon. Please leave your comment below to let us know how you want to play the build. Like the video, subscribe to keep us going. Thanks for watching.